so bright out.
The Tony
so
Danza Bonanza.
Make a lie, quick.
Clicky and Poppy.
This is gonna be a special episode of
It was hot.
Ready
I did start reading.
Tonight.
Is it ready?
And
I need to start it again. Welcome
All right.
to the XYZ podcast. This is episode 57. Someone always interrupts me.
Yep.
I'm millennial producer Tony. Joining me, as always, are your hosts, Gen X Brian
Hey, everybody.
and Gen Z Winston.
What it do? I just want to point out this is a special episode.
A very special episode.
Yeah, it's a under the radar episode. There is no chat this time around. We took chat out back and yellered them.
Yeah, that's because Winston's gonna start his racist ideology.
That's exactly it.
I suppose you can't even joke like that anymore, though. I don't want to say that. I don't want to have this resurface years from now and be like, Winston has said questionable things. I've definitely said questionable things.
Everybody said, well, I'm not gonna admit that on stream here or on the podcast here.
It's researches, Twitter threads, incendiary comments about K-pop groups.
That's it. Yeah, they're gonna be like, remember when he said this? No, I do not.
I wanted to tell Winston something. I mean, obviously you too, but there was an article today.
He doesn't want to tell you anything, Tony. Let's go into a break room, Brian, real quick.
Yeah.
Well, he has nothing to add to this.
Yeah.
I'm essentially, I guess I'm thanking you. There was an article. It was like 25 slang terms and emojis that parents should know about their teens.
Is it always like very wrong? Yeah.
No, I'm going through one of them.
Okay.
One of them was sneaky links, and I was like,
oh, really?
And I went down the whole thing with the emojis and the terms, and I knew every single one of them thanks to you.
You're very welcome,
Yeah,
Brian. You're now fluent in Gen Z languages.
I am. I was like, oh, I guess I'm not as out of touch as one may be.
Listen, the next thing you gotta learn is like Gen Alpha brain rot, because it's just way worse.
Not my kids, so I don't have to worry about them.
My niece and nephews are Gen Alphas, and it's very hard communicating with them. They're very impressed that I know half of these things, but it's like I don't know what it means.
As your name says, man, you're certified unk, so you're getting out of there pretty soon.
Yeah, they're like very obsessed with like right now there's a big thing called Italian brain rot. Have you guys heard of this?
Italian brain? No.
Yeah, it's like
French brain.
No,
is everything that the kids watch now, you just call it brain rot? Is that just the derogatory
No,
term?
this is quite literally brain rot. It was like these AI generated character, and it's like tung 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 sahur. Like I'm like, I don't know what this means.
Sounds racist.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's like an AI generated image of like it's like a wooden stick guy holding a wooden stick. And that's tung 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 sahur. They have
what are we on the like there was this ascension of creativity, that was happening, and people were getting more and more. Now I feel like it's peaked and it's going. I'm telling you, Grimace.
Because they're letting the AI make the creative decisions. That's why.
The Grimace, Milk and Grimace, the Grimace Shake. That was the peak of creativity, and now it's on the downward slope.
We're never getting back to that Grimace Shake thing. I just think that there's no more creativity in the world.
How long do you think they hang on to that till they try and revive it? It's not gonna. Well, I don't know if it'll work a second time. I suppose that's gonna have a resurgence at some point because I think it was so much publicity.
Grimace,
the Grimace Shake. But
I don't know, but I do applaud like McDonald's for like bringing back their good stuff. Finally, they're bringing back the snack wrap next month.
They are
very excited.
Was that because I saw the?
It's because Popeyes came out with it.
Oh, really? Because I saw an impassioned plea from the, again, I think this was all part of it, but it was supposed to be like an off-script impassioned plea from the social media marketer from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's clever. Saying it's not like run by corporate, but actually, I'm sure it was. But it was genius.
1000% was. No, it was hilarious that they posted that and like Popeyes sent a thing and it was like a meme. It was like, sorry that happened to you, or oh, I'm not reading all that, congratulations, or sorry that happened to you, and then they just left it at that, which I thought was so funny.
That is funny because I saw it too, and I think I read the first. I was like, no, this is too long. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tony, did you see this? You know what we're talking about?
No, I mean I knew that the snack wrap was coming back. I saw the Popeyes thing, but I didn't see the
Yeah.
Have you guys had the Popeyes like snack wraps?
No, not yet.
You're throwing a tortilla around a chicken strip. I mean, how Come on, this
great.
is we're not like this is not groundbreaking culinary
It's the
discoveries.
healthiest, it's the healthiest option they have there. I love when that's a thing. It's just like it's like you guys come to us for very unhealthy food, but now here's a sort of healthy alternative.
Give me 4 snack wraps and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now, Brian, do you remember McDonald's shakers?
What is that?
Yeah, the salad shakers.
Salad
What?
shakers.
Toss your salad.
It was in a cup, and then you put your dressing in it and you shook it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the dressing was like 5,000 calories. That's why it tasted so good.
I didn't tell you guys this. I got screwed over by AI one time because like I use AI to kind of look up like healthy alternative for like fast food places just because like I want to eat healthier. And they're like, yeah, go to McDonald's and ask for a side salad. I'm like sure. It's I pull up, I'm like, let me get a double filet of fish, and she was like, anything else? I was like, yeah, let me get a side salad, and they're like, oh, what?
We don't sell those, sir.
Yeah, I was like, side salad? Do you guys not offer that? And they're like, no. I was like, do you guys offer any type of salad? And they're like, no. I was like,
This is
oh,
McDonald's, son.
yeah, exactly.
They used to, though. That's what Tony's talking about. That was the big thing, is that you shook your salads. But here's the tip: how to eat healthy. Don't eat fast food. That's I know I get it that
you go to Wendy's, they got salads.
Yeah, you can go to Zaxby's, they got salads.
They got like a $15 salad at Zaxby's.
Yeah, it's also like 1,000 cal every time you eat it. It's crazy.
Yeah. You said that about AI, getting screwed over by AI. I saw today now, man, influencers are getting screwed over by AI.
How so?
TikTok is allowing AI
Generated
influencers.
content. Yeah.
So
I've
like
seen this.
companies can upload their clothes or whatever, and then they have like an AI influencer like sell them. You've got like these random, computers like telling you how good they look.
I'm telling you, man, the more and more we go, it's gonna be like Wall-E, where everything is gonna be AI generated.
I mean, we've kind of gotten screwed over. So whenever we talked a few episodes ago about skeletal Joe Camel, I had AI make the coolest thing that I've ever looked at in my life, and tried to put it on merch, and it just our store page won't allow.
Wow.
I don't know why.
They have integrity. That's crazy.
I want it on a shirt so bad that I'm tempted just to
print it, bring it to like a print shop.
Image up for anybody that wants it, and go take it to whatever local printer that you want and get your own shirt made.
See, back in the day, you could get iron-ons.
You
could print out
iron-on.
transfer shirts. Yeah, iron-on transfer shirts. There you go. I was making it through the wash many times. But
My parents were just around, and they brought a box of old crap of mine from their house, and I had a bunch of old iron-on pages in there, and I was like,
oh my god,
I probably won't ever use these, but it's cool to see what I had.
Joe Camel.
Do you guys remember iron-on patches? Like, you guys ever like those? Were super cool. I had a denim jacket that I ironed on a bunch of like patches. None of them made sense. It was like NASA and alien eating a pizza type thing, but it was the cool 2000.
I was gonna say I remember the early 2000s. Aliens were huge, man.
Yeah.
Everybody had alien stickers on their car in Orlando. It was like,
was it the green one, the neon green one, for whatever reason? Yeah, it's always the neon green one.
But aliens were huge. Like, and then it went. I guess a little bit later, we all got zombie crazy in the early. When was Walking Dead a thing? People were zombie crazy.
No, you know when millennials was really obsessed with something? It was you remember the mustache? For some reason, it was like the hipster stash.
Yes,
Tony, you know what I'm talking about?
We're looking at the millennial with facial hair right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tony doesn't have it, like the little curves.
Tony and I are friends. I would have a hard time talking to him now if he got the hipster mustache.
What about the
Yeah, it's on the finger,
tattoo?
right? Yeah. You remember that, Brian?
Yeah,
They would do this.
There's got to be a lot of regret.
Yeah,
there's got to be a lot of regret. That was funny.
There's a lot of regrets, Brian. Yeah.
What? Regrets? Yes. I was like, regrets. Yeah.
My wife's in chat saying that I look like a caveman, which about to break this to her and both you. So I've been in dire need of a shave. Found a great barber nearby where the wrestling twins were.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Driving past the past like 3 weeks, it had been closed down. And I was like, what is going on? Finally went digging today, and I was like, they've got to have like a Facebook page or something.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they do. Unfortunately, the grandfather of the family, the guy who ran the shop, died.
Oh man.
He passed away.
Did he pass down his talents to his sons?
Well, it was one of his daughters and then one of the granddaughters that I would always see there was one of the wrestlers, and they both worked the store, but according to the page, they're like, we don't know what's going to happen to the store. We don't know if we're going to continue it, but
no,
it was like a week or two ago. He had some like blockage in a vein or something I had heard of, and he wasn't
too much hair.
He had undergone surgery and then seemed to have been doing fine, and apparently did not end up doing fine. So sadly, I am in search of a new barber.
But also shout out to Pops for running the shop when he was
Charles.
still alive.
Yeah, his name was Charles. He was cool. I always liked him. Him and his family are great. Shout
Big
out to them.
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode is in Charles' honor.
In memoriam.
To Charles.
That's it. To Charles.
That's like when on Parks and Rec, when Ron Swanson's barber dies, he's like he's seriously shaken, and he's got to go to that one guy. So maybe Tony, you can go to I forget what his name is, but the real
Tony, you just gotta do it for the content one day and just go to like a sport clips or like a great clips.
Sports clips. I've never been there, but it seems like Hooters for haircuts.
I think it's more like Walmart for a haircut. It's like the worst type of individual you can have cutting hair.
It's like they just barely passed cosmology school, and they're like, this is where you can work.
I believe it's cosmetology. If it's cosmetology, they can do your horoscope while you're doing cutting hair.
Listen, Brian, 9 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times you go in there, whatever cut you ask for, you don't get it. It's amazing. Yeah. They're like, at least they're like consistent in that sense. You know what I mean?
I know. Look what happened to me when I went. I mean, geez.
You had a full head of hair.
We're talking McDonald's. We're talking public spaces.
We're always talking McDonald's.
I wanted to talk the death of the play place and the ball pit.
Okay. Stand by, but I wanted to do one more thing before we move on to that. Thanks to Winston, I know what this is. And you would probably too. So we were out to eat the other night, and outside of the restaurant, there was like this green space where kids run around. And this dad is like chasing his little kid, and his arms are behind him. And my daughter's like, "Look at that guy doing the Naruto run."
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I actually knew what she was talking about, and they had to laugh because like the guy was totally running with his arms. Yeah. I was like, again, that's another thing that I get that reference.
Now here's the thing. Some might argue it's the Naruto run, but it's the Sonic run.
That's what I was just about to say. I think Naruto stole it from Sonic.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same form, man.
Sonic I'm way before.
Did OG Sonic run like that with his arms?
That's the real question. Did Sonic always ran with his arm behind his back?
They weren't as straight.
Okay, because Naruto
does
up.
the real straight behind. Yeah, Sonic always had.
But it has to be like there has to be like some sort of scientific into like the way you run like that, right? I genuinely believe you run faster that way. You're gotta be like more aerodynamic or something. Listen, if I was good at like running sports, I can compete on like a large scale like Olympic type event. I don't care if I win. I'm just gonna get out there and run like I'm Naruto. It's amazing.
Have either of you seen the like secret Chinese technique of running faster? You ever see these videos?
No. What was it?
I run. I need to know this.
Oh, isn't it like heel to toe or something like that, right?
It looks like you just like people have referred to it. I've seen like double tap. It's just skipping.
Oh yes, I've seen this video.
Just skip like the world has said that China has discovered skipping and it's faster. It's like, what are you on?
Yeah.
What is happening? That's wild.
Imagine World War III breaks out and you just see like 1,500 Chinese dude with guns skipping at you.
That would freak me out, man. I would
imagine the next Summer Olympics and they're running the 600 meters and there's just one dude power skipping and you're like,
his arms are in the air.
I'm rooting for him. I mean,
I will put it in the link dump.
Please do, because if there's anything that I've learned, I guess it's because we're getting older, Tony. The younger kids put something like they've discovered it and they talk about it and they're like, this has been around for like, come on now.
Yeah, it's so funny.
All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to. I had two tips of my hat to Winston of like being able to connect with my daughter, or at least not connect, but get the references that should.
Understand the reference.
Yeah. I was like, that's so funny, man.
Right. Let me reintroduce this. Hey, we were talking about public spaces, where the guys running around. Also, just like do that in your backyard. Doesn't need need done in a public.
He was
space.
Chasing his kid. He had a little kid that he was chasing, but I still didn't understand
chase them with your arms out.
I didn't understand why he bent over and did that. It was really weird.
He was racing his kid, man. That's how he was in like the optimal form. He was being aerodynamic.
Yeah, 3-year-old. You're smoked, punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I want to talk the death of the play place and ball pits.
Ball pits.
Here's the real question:
What
Is it
happened?
actually dead, or we just don't go in them?
I mean, fast food establishments are actively kind of getting rid of them. There's still that you can find that are old. Like
Chick-fil-A has one.
Chick-fil-A has some. McDonald's used to have them all the time. They used to actually have outdoor ones that were again like McDonald land themed.
It's
Burger
funny
King
you
had
said
them.
that.
Like yeah.
I think we all know the answer to this. It's the iPad. Every kid doesn't care about a ball pit anymore. They care about whatever's going on Roblox at the time. It was, I don't know if it was in the US or if it was overseas, but there was a McDonald's, and instead of having like a play area, it was like an iPad charging area where the kids could just come and play on like iPad games.
Oh, that's sad.
But to be fair, McDonald's did at one point in time have Nintendo 64s in them.
No way. That's very cool.
Yeah, they were like it looked like a tree. And in the part of the base, that's where the screens and everything were.
Wow. I must have missed that era.
Yeah, you were a grown man, Brian.
Yeah, very too. We had a place kind of nearish us. This was the place that we had was called Slinky Action Zone.
Yeah.
It's like Sneaky Links. I got some Slinky Action Zone.
Is that the place that
I know,
like a Slinky?
Yes.
Yeah. There was another name for them, but it was just a place you go in and had a small arcade and a small like laser tag. But most of the place was like a giant play place. It had slides and freaking tubes to crawl in, and like cargo net ladders and a ball pit. And it just
was there a restaurant?
Had a little snack bar, I think.
Okay, so that was, but you paid for admission to the
play.
Yeah, the play area.
Yes, I think laser tag was an extra cost, and then you had to buy your tokens for the arcade. But yeah, it was just an admission to this giant play area. My grandmother would take us when we'd spend like a week in the summer when my parents went on vacation. That was like one of our stops that we'd always go to.
I was gonna ask, was this the place that your dad would tell them they were closed for cleaning every time you guys drive past it?
Well, speaking of, Chuck E. Cheese also used to have a small tube play area and a ball pit. That was one of the things that was in a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but it's also like, you know how that's like a biohazard.
Oh,
like,
totally.
The ball pit is like the worst. Yeah, I wouldn't want my kid playing in it. And like I'm assuming a lot of other parents are, with the rise of anti-vaxxer.
Pre-COVID. But so when my kids were going to birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese, which was, I guess, probably like 15 years ago now, they still had the play area. I do totally remember that. In addition to the games. And that was right when they were starting to put it on the internet, that they were like recombining unfinished pizzas into pizzas. Do you remember that?
It's like two different pizza combined in one. Yeah, they Frankensteined it.
Yep. Like, that's not right.
Now, do either of you have any memories or stories of reasons why ball pits have been gotten rid of?
Why?
Well, I remember hearing, and again, this is like the razor blades and the apples, but I remember hearing that junkies were dropping syringes in them. And I mean, again, is that a Snopes thing, that we gotta check out?
That's so funny.
I don't know, but it was a prevailing theory. Yeah.
It's so funny. I will say that theory transferred from America all the way to Vietnam, because my parents stopped letting me go in ball pits for that exact reason. And don't get me wrong. There's more junkie in Vietnam than I've seen here.
Actually,
have I told you guys the story? Have you? Oh my God. So when I was in Vietnam 2 years ago, and I hope I see it again. It's amazing. It's something about like just seeing an addict like inject meth into their body. I saw it with my own eyes, man. It was great. Me and my cousin.
It's great.
It was me and my cousin were walking. And we were walking to my grandma's house, and my grandma lived down this alley.
So you're in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, we're in Vietnam. It's like 102 degrees outside. It's probably why he had to take a little load off. But he was hiding between like this little like coffee like cart and like a little like wooden wall. And he was just kind of like sitting on the ground, and he was like loading up, like he was tying the little fucking shit onto his arm, like tourniquet it. He's like doing this shit. He starts smacking his vein.
Man.
Yeah, man. And so like my cousin saw it, and she was like, "Hey, can I walk on the other side? I don't want to walk past this guy." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "So fuck me, I guess." If he stabbed me, like it's whatever.
He's busy, man. He is. Yeah. If he's got drugs, he's not
focused.
interested in you.
Yeah. He was zoned the hell in. And then we walked past him, and me and him made eye contact. I don't know. Like I kind of looked at him like, "You're a brave soldier." No, I didn't. No, I didn't want him like that. I just wanted to see what the experience was like.
Right.
But
you know,
it's
look me in the eyes when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Stare at me as you eject yourself. But we quickly walked past them, and then we went in the house. And then about 5 minutes later, I got on my cousin moped, and as we were like leaving the alleyway, I made sure to like look where he was to see if he was still there. And he had it. No, he still had the freaking syringe in. So the syringe was still stuck in his arm. The tourniquet is now out, and he was like laying like this.
Oh, he couldn't. Oh, gosh.
Oh no, it was amazing. It was amazing to see. It was terrible to see, but it was just sort of like it was like a train wreck. You just couldn't look away from it.
Yeah. I applaud you for not taking out your phone and recording.
No, I was gonna steal from him. I was gonna rob him while he was.
He doesn't have any money. He
got clothes on. He got shoes on.
You don't want a junkie's clothes or shoes, I promise you.
Yeah, that's fair. But you can sell it to other junkies. Yeah.
This always reminded me of those stories, like you were saying, like the razor blade in the apple or the drugs in the Halloween candy, which is like, I don't. Who's
going to empty?
Find me the junkie that's like, let me go hide out at Chuck E. Cheese and dispose of my needles here, or this is the best place for me to get high.
Is that a party of 10-year-olds coming in for a birthday party? Let me quickly throw these syringes.
Yeah.
Like the things that always made more sense was like, hey, kids would just piss in the ball pit. I go, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
like
so
people finding like dirty diapers in there. It's like,
that seems more realistic than needles, but yeah.
Right.
Now here's the scary one. There was a little local theme park in Pennsylvania called Idlewild, and they had one of the sections of the park was called Jumpin' Jungle. And it had all kind of like kid activities. There's like this little zip line and like a huge cargo net climbing thing. One of my favorites, I don't know why it was there. They just had this area that was kind of roped off, and they had a bunch of like ball pit balls with plastic tubes that just blew air. And you would just like load these things up and push them in, and then you'd shoot them all out. Or if you were real careful, you could just put a ball in the thing, and it would just float there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's all that it was. But they had like, imagine a ball pit that was like half the size of a football field.
Oh my God.
It was
massive.
Enormous.
That was never getting cleaned.
Yeah.
It was probably not ever getting cleaned. It was outdoors. And I remember,
What did they do when it rained?
Oh,
that's how they got cleaned.
It's part of the attraction, Brian.
I'm sure it was like mesh at the bottom to keep the balls in, but let everything else drain out.
Yeah.
It also
like
didn't necessarily keep things out though, because I remember it getting shut down because they found rattlesnakes. Nested in the ball pit.
Oh my God.
So kids were just in there with snakes because it was outside.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think snakes way scarier than needles in a ball pit.
Yeah, but you think about that, it's
because they're coming for you. The needles just lay there. Snakes actively looking for you.
Well, they're cruising around. If something steps down, they're gonna strike at it. Oh
yeah.
And you went there as a kid? You played there several times?
I don't ever remember being in the ball pit because I was like, there's other cool stuff to be doing.
Yeah. It was never technically.
Then they were like, there were snakes in the ball pit, and I'm like, glad I never went in there. Okay.
Oh man. Well, they've got like the Sky Zone places, the trampoline parks. But those are foam. I guess there's no ball pits anymore. It's foam. I don't know how that's any better. I mean, they still hold the sneeze just as much as a plastic ball.
It absorbs the sneeze, right?
It's like it's a 4
sneeze
foot
sponges.
Deep foam pit. What's at the bottom of that?
You don't want to know.
Nothing.
Right. Nothing good. Nothing good.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a kid, there is something just so fun about launching off anything and landing in like,
a ball pit.
A ball pit, man.
Pit of anything.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and lots of it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be on the lookout for one now, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you go, I want to say Dave and Buster have that type of stuff, but I don't think so anymore.
I think Dave and Buster's more like just arcade. Like it's more adult oriented.
I feel like Dave and Buster's is the place where people that if they're 30 and they haven't been married, that's where like that's the demographic. Like
no, seriously, who is the fan base?
Yeah, because I mean they're
single parents. It's always single parents. At least from what I've seen. Now, if I was in the market for cougars, that's where I would.
well, wait. What is your age range for cougars, Winston?
35 to 45.
35. That's insulting to 35-year-old women.
You're 35. Start a family. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know.
That constitutes cougars.
I don't think so either.
45 to 55.
I can't believe I'm putting this in my Google search, but let me look for it.
How old is a cougar?
Because your wife listens to the podcast, or otherwise, if she came across some of your Google searches, she'd be like, "Why? Why are you looking this up,
There's a very
Tony?"
thin line between cougars and saber-tooth, Brian. You don't want to end up, in the saber-tooth territory.
Saber-tooth have grandchildren, right?
Yes, that's exactly.
We talked about Johnny's Hideaway on here, so
yes.
That's, if you're ever in Atlanta, if you go there.
I'm seeing different things here. I don't trust. Well, speaking of AI, I don't trust Google's AI for the here's their immediate
summaries. Answer. Yeah, I've come across several bad information given to me by the AI summaries. Yeah, wrong information. Yeah.
I'll read it anyways. It does say that it typically refers to a woman who is 40 or older.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Prefers dating younger men. Although I'm also looking at a Reddit thread here that says
that's the real info.
The age. Well, it's asking actual people.
The subreddit was Cougar Hunter.
Asks r/ask men. One of the questions, I'm not clicking this thread. It just says, when does a MILF become a cougar?
When they have grandchildren, I think that's
the saber-tooth though.
Oh,
I think a cougar is if they're divorced.
I think the cougar is older and wants to date younger men.
Is saber-tooth a real term? I thought that was just Winston being funny because they're super old.
I genuinely think it's a real term.
Oh, see, I thought that I was giving you credit for your cleverness.
No, I wish I was,
but this is saying the age gap to officially be a cougar is 15 to 20 years older than you.
So a 20-year-old with a 35-year-old. So Winston's
technically
okay.
Technically,
all right.
But I am 26, so now we gotta up it up to 36.
You're in a happy relationship. We're not talking about you specifically. We're
talking
about people your age. Your roommates.
But you asked me. What the range for a cougar would be. So for me, then it would have to be
15 years. So somebody 40. Okay.
41,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
Sound logic. Yeah. I'm glad we're coming up with these guidelines for those out there. I hope we're educating somebody.
I told my roommates, if the dating apps gets real. No, it wasn't even that I told. I was sitting next to my roommate, and one of them was on a dating app. He had his age range set to 35 as his maximum. I was like, 35.
How old's your roommate?
26.
26. Okay, so he was like 35. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like 35. He was like, listen, man, it's free game. I'm like, what does that mean? A lot of lonely women in their 30s.
So you'd have to up it anyways. If you're you're 26, 15 to 20 is what this was saying.
Oh, 15 to 20. I thought it was 15. I was just
but he could have put 25 to 30. Like 5 years. I think 5 years is good. I don't think for me as a guy, I don't think I could date anyone that's 10 years older than me.
My whole thing, and you date whoever you want, and if it works, good for you. But my whole thing is,
I was about to say, would you date someone 10 years younger? But the answer is still no. Never mind. At Winston's age, you should answer no.
The answer is absolutely no.
Making sure, but yes.
Yeah.
But the references, I mean, the funny thing that we all talk about is references, and obviously Tony and I are closer, so a lot of I can reference Happy Days, and then you haven't heard of that. So so I think about that in a dating situation, like how
what do you guys talk about, right?
Yeah,
that's it.
My wife is 1 year younger than I am, so all the references. There is nothing that I can say that she wasn't alive for.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily always work. My wife's 2 years younger than I am, but she grew up in a household where they didn't have cable.
Okay, I mean,
and I watched TV in the 90s, very formative.
But
so I make a lot of references that
but you guys can still talk about
but
you guys can still talk about events that happened and I mean. Now imagine
the Challenger blew up.
Like Bill Belichick's new girlfriend. Is it Bill Belichick? Whoever.
Yes.
He's like 26. She's like my age, and he's like 60.
I don't get it.
What are they gonna talk about? The Great Depression?
Yeah.
It's like, I learned that in school once. I don't know.
I lived through it. Man, I talked to my grandma a little bit about the Great Depression back when she was still alive. That was weird. And it's one of those things as you get older, you're like, God, why didn't I just sit and talk to her and ask questions about all that stuff? But I remember having conversations, and this is a ridiculous. Well, this is kind of a funny story. Is in my high school, when the later years in high school, I was in my hippie phase, learning about the Beatles and getting into that sort of thing, and then into college, and I learned how to tie dye. and I tie-dyed sheets. I have like awesome tapestries that I would tie-dye. And so looking for sheets to tie-dye, at one time went over to my grandmother's house because she still, she had very much Depression era mentality. Like she recycled things before it was cool. I mean, she recycled newspapers and cans and all this stuff before it was even a thing. And she had obviously a lot of, bed sheets that were still, usable. Yeah. And one time I went over there and I asked her if she could, because that was when there was a lot of poly blends, and I said, do you have any cotton sheets that you could get rid of? And she actually did. And she pulls out one, and the sheet had been cut down the middle. And so it had a seam down the middle. And she's like, well, during that time, we would take our sheets, and if they got worn out, you would slice them down the middle, flip the outside sides that weren't as worn, and put those in the middle. And then, so a seam down there. Stuff like that. So
then you don't have to buy new stuff, right?
Yeah. And I used that sheet, and I made it tie-dye, and I probably sold it for like $60 at a Grateful Dead show.
You sold a piece of history, man.
I know, but I did have the conversation of like learning about, like what it was like actually in the Great Depression.
Yeah, it's also before planned obsolescence, where they just don't make stuff to last anymore.
Yeah. But tying us back around, that was a great conversation with my grandma. Not somebody you want to have with a dating partner. That's not the conversation. Like that's so weird, man.
Yeah.
No, so 15 years. There you go. 15 to 20 years.
15 years. Yeah. Long way of it. But yeah, anyway, we got the answer there. Where were we going with this?
All of us have significant others right now.
Dave and Buster. That's
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
All of us have significant others. Do we want to talk? I have it on my list again.
Escorts.
Now, Brian said,
escorts.
Winston's happily in a relationship, but I think we all can agree it's not all happy times. And I have a striking argument that I would like to discuss, but I would see if anybody wanted to discuss, like,
Tony, I really like the wife. I don't want to be.
Tony is using us as his therapist. This is
no. But listen, Liz probably knows exactly where I'm going with this because this happened very early on in our dating, and it was something that I got into an argument and screamed about. And
my goodness!
And this is indicative of our relationship. It was the dumbest thing we could have been arguing about.
Tony saw that.
That's what all of our arguments, like, if it's something important, we're fine. We can have a discussion about it. If it doesn't make any sense and we shouldn't be yelling, then we probably are.
Tony saw the dress as blue and black, and Liz saw it as white and gold, and that's what led to it.
That's right.
I guess let me tell my story, and
please
maybe this will spark get somebody on another path here. So we're in college. We had gone out. I'm the only one with the car. So it's me and a couple of friends and her. And it's probably 11 o'clock. I'm getting ready to drop people off. And we're back on campus. And somehow the discussion gets onto, of all things, back at it, McDonald's cheeseburgers. And my wife's going like, one of the things that I don't like, I can't stand is mustard. And I'm going,
I'm with her. I'm with you on that one.
I get it. Yeah.
Oh, I love mustard. I love mustard.
Disgusting. Yeah.
And she's just like, but I was just like, but you'll eat a McDonald's cheeseburger. And she goes, yeah, but it doesn't have mustard on it. And I'm going,
it does have mustard.
You're out of your freaking mind.
I ordered it without mustard, so mine did not.
Yes, but I go, if you order a standard McDonald's cheeseburger, it has bun, burger, cheese, rehydrated onions, pickles, ketchup and mustard. That's what's on a McDonald's cheeseburger.
From the same machine, like this.
She goes, no, it's not. I go, yes, it is. And we start this back and forth. And the rest of our friends just go silent as we start.
How long you guys been dating at this point?
Well, maybe it's just me. I start screaming about it. I won't throw her under the bus. I was up in arms. I was all worked up to the point where I pull into a parking spot and I'm going, yes, it is. I'm telling you, there's ketchup and mustard on a burger. And then she's just like, and everyone's just like, dude, Tony, like, calm down. Like,
it's just mustard, man.
Going, I know. It's not insane. There's mustard on the burger. Until we get to a point where I'm just like, call him. They're up. I don't care. Call him.
Get Ronald on the phone right now.
Get Ronald. It's crazy.
I get on my Sidekick or whatever. My red phone from our pictures is what I was using at the time. I get on my phone. I'm calling a local McDonald's. I'm gonna ask them right now what's on a freaking, because this is before the apps. Yeah. So I get on there.
But you still had the internet, so you could call McDonald's. That's funny as hell.
Yeah. So I call McDonald's. They get on there and they go, yeah,
hello, McDonald's.
This is what's on it. They give the list of ingredients, and I go, I freaking told you. She goes, do me a favor, find a number for because I grew up on Long Island. Call a McDonald's in Long Island. I'm like, I'm not calling freaking New York City. We're in Virginia. I'm not doing that. She goes, call them.
Oh man.
Sure enough, it was a different.
How to find out?
Oh my gosh.
The only place in the whole United States of America that doesn't put mustard on a fucking McDonald's cheeseburger is the tri-state area there.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And it's just
hats off to her, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is garbage, and freaking New York sucks, and this is why.
But she was so right.
Funny. But
wow.
I don't know the last time I was that fired up about something. Like, I was irate. Like, if I'd had a vein in my head, it'd burst.
It would pop, yeah.
Because I was so mad yelling about this.
Should have asked for Ronald, man. You should have asked for Ronald.
He was way to find out that I was wrong and New York's stupid. And I'm like, this, I can't believe it.
All right, we need to talk to Mayor McCheese. What the hell is going on?
What's going on in New York? Why you got special junctions
though?
over
Do you
there?
know why? I want to know why now.
She
you guys were both right.
Just like it's
a regional thing. Yeah.
Mustard is not a popular condiment in New York City. And
don't they serve it with hot dogs?
That's what I said. I said, like, a staple of New York City is a hot dog cart and a pretzel cart. Like, what the hell are you putting on a pretzel?
Oh, I'm gonna be there next week. I will be doing some research.
Yeah, you need to do some research, right? It's so fun.
It was such a thing. We laugh about it now, and it's just like anytime you want to start an argument, bring up McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah. But you were both right. But I love the fact that she stuck to her guns and called. Yeah, like
no, but it's her telling call New York is killing me.
It's like if I had the conversation with 100 other people, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
but because of where she's from, I was wrong.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Well, I mean, that's you were both right, but man, that's it, and that was before. I'm trying to think. That was before, or when you had cell phones, so long distance was no longer a thing. That used to be a consideration because if I would have had that argument years before, I'd been like, I'm not calling New York. That will cost a lot of money to make a long distance phone call.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Brian,
if there's other if the two of you have had good, just nonsense arguments, they were just like, I can't believe we're even having this discussion, let alone this worked up about it.
I don't think anything can top that. Honestly.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I can recall. I don't think I can recall it, but if I do, the next time I get into an argument with my girlfriend over something that's stupid, I'm gonna write it down just because of how funny that is. But no,
that's
I was
what this show is, man. Just writing this stuff down.
Does she ever, if you're in an argument, does she ever look at you and be like, McDonald's hamburgers? Like ketchup or mustard?
It just comes up in conversation.
It's such a power move, though. Yeah, it's great.
I want to know why, though.
I was gonna say, Brian, when you go up to New York next week, you gotta see what.
I'm gonna do serious research.
If you can keep an eye out for my buddy Joshua Block while you're up there.
Right, where does he hang out?
All over, but specifically Manhattan.
So I should go up to every inebriated guy I see on the street and be like, "Are you Josh?"
Yes, but he has. You don't even have to do that. You just gotta look in their general direction, and it's a phrase. It's sort of like you remember when the Winter Soldier get that phrase whisper in his ear, and he goes crazy mode. Yes. There's a phrase for Josh. It activates his Winter Soldier mode. You just gotta yell out, "Put the fries in the bag," and he goes ape shit.
That's his phrase.
Yes, that's his phrase. If he goes ape shit, it's Josh.
Oh, man, he's still alive. This is the alcoholic you've talked about.
Yes.
But wait, he hangs out in Manhattan?
Yeah, he's in Manhattan.
He was all over the place.
He was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. I wanted to go meet him, but I couldn't find him. Yeah, he was in Atlanta. He was on the Beltline drinking. A ton of kid ran by him and just, on the little birds or whatever scooter and was just yelling, put the fries in the bag, and he get real angry at him.
He gets angry.
Yeah, because it's basically calling him unemployed. Like, you're working at a McDonald's. That's what put the fries in the bags mean.
Clearly,
Yeah, whatever,
sounds
buddy. Just put the fries in the bag.
He works at McDonald's?
No, he doesn't. But like people are just making fun of him. They're gonna make more fun of him because they know it's gonna, it gets a reaction.
I tangentially know who and what you're talking about. This guy in New York who gets drunk all the time and is on TikTok, right?
He's very autistic. Yes.
Autistic alcoholic on
Yes.
TikTok. Yes.
Yes.
So AI influencers are coming for his job. They can easily make one of those on TikTok.
I don't think AI influencer can replace Josh, man. Josh is great. Yeah.
But he gives tours, right, of New York?
Yes, he gives tours. Yeah, he gives tours, and he always gets shit face on him.
Do you have to buy his drinks? This sounds like a
no. He buys his own
like...
drinks, but
he does. So he's getting enough money from TikTok probably to buy his own drinks.
He makes a lot, Brian. He makes a lot. Yeah.
So why does he get mad if people say put the fries in the bag? Clearly,
because he's autistic. It's an autistic kid. They're making fun of him. Like, come on, Brian. Like, so we're not talking about rocket science here.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's just he's easily angry and
does he film himself?
Like, what do you mean?
Or is all of his content is that him filming himself?
Yes, but there's now like a subgenre of people creating content by filming him and making fun of him. Yes, it's terrible, but it's great.
The end of humanity is so in sight.
Yeah.
It's all laid out right here. They're gonna look back and they're gonna be able to track it easily.
Yep, that's it. But yeah, if you're up there, keep an eye out for my buddy Josh. That's my goat.
What's he look like? Drunk guy passed out on the
he's
on the sidewalk.
Yeah, with glasses, white guy. Kind of tall and skinny.
Okay, so I will be on the lookout for all drunk, passed out, tall, skinny white guys.
Yes, yeah.
Bonus
point,
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
Oh, jeez. You didn't find him though when you went. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
No, I didn't.
Two things to sidetrack. One, I got a friend in chat here who's claiming that her first argument with her husband was also over a condiment.
Oh wow,
no way.
Over honey barbecue sauce. And she's like, I've never eaten honey barbecue sauce. He goes, yes, you have.
I don't like mustard. It's funny though that Liz doesn't like mustard, or at least was not provided mustard on her hamburgers, because I always tell my wife, I was like, well, if it ever comes down to the last pack of mustard, it's yours. I have no interest in it. I will say over the years since we've been married, I've grown to tolerate it and like it a little bit, which is weird.
Mustard?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But I used to be very, very anti-mustard.
Maybe it's my German heritage. I don't know.
That's true.
Probably it. Yeah.
That's true.
Tony
needs mustard on his schnitzel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like me, I put sweet and sour sauce on my hamburger.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of
I
stereotypes.
can't. So again, Reddit, for good or bad, we're back there. Subreddit Ask NYC about a year ago. I'm looking at a thread. Why doesn't McDonald's have yellow mustard in New York?
Oh wow,
that's funny.
Top comment says, back in 2012, the New York Post asked this same question, and apparently the company came to the realization that New Yorkers do not put mustard on their burgers. A random person on a different site, blah, 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 said that's gone all the way back to the 70s, possibly.
Wow.
Another user said that they actually referred to a spot called the mustard line, where burgers start being made at fast food restaurants without mustard on them, have found that this is roughly along I-84. So if we have anybody listening in the Northeast, let us know. Does your area put mustard on fast food burgers or not?
Yeah.
I love that she was right though. That's the funniest part about it, man. Like really digging in.
Yeah.
But I guess like you, Tony, you were absolutely certain.
Because I'm like, it's McDonald's. It's a nationwide chain. It's not like they're,
the guy that you called hung up the phone. He's like, some idiot just called me and asked if we put mustard on our hamburgers with the ketchup.
Yeah.
We don't serve mustard here.
Right. And then, that guy was like, yeah, this is freaking jabroni. He's asking if we put mustard on our hamburgers. And then, you got the whole White Castle Crystal thing. Maybe one of those guys is from New York, the White Castle guy.
Well, we already discussed that they were brothers, and the mustard came down south.
What was it? Joseph White Castle and Anton White Castle, Anton Crystal.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh man! See, with the late start to the podcast, I bring the bottle of bourbon with me. It's like I have my own bar up here.
You want to do a quick
Brian's not fooling anybody. He's just drinking from the bottle.
Yeah,
I am not. This episode brought to you by.
Episode?
Yeah, Brian definitely drinking from the bottle.
Brought to you by Cheap Bourbon. This is
you don't even see the name. Yeah,
I know. That's there we go.
Dickles.
Yeah.
Dickle.
Yep.
Dickle.
Pull out your
Take a
Dickle and have
Dickle.
a sip.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
A while ago, we were talking about Hennessy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And I sent you guys a picture of the Hennessy in the liquor store.
It was like $169.
Yeah,
for
well,
no
I
reason.
wanted to clarify, not that anybody on this podcast saw the gigantic bottle of Hennessy, but it was like a bottle of Hennessy like this big. It was huge.
Yes.
It was
It's
like
a whole jug,
it was like it was
Yeah.
like a gallon of Hennessy. So yeah, I didn't mean to misinform you on the price of Hennessy.
Listen, I'm telling you, Vietnamese people love Hennessy. I promise you, the day I get married, I'm getting gifted at least 3 bottles of Hennessy. It's
Really?
just for whatever reason. Yeah. Some of them might be gifts. Some might just be open and drink that at the party. It's
Shit,
and
we
like
forgot
at
a
the
gift.
wedding reception.
Give him
Yeah.
the bottle.
Yeah. That's it. It's always like that. It's at everybody's like a wedding I've seen.
Vietnamese
Like,
across the board.
Vietnamese across the board. Doesn't matter if it's in Georgia, if it's in California.
I'm going to start
everywhere.
polling Vietnamese people. I don't know that
Yes.
many, but
Yeah.
the ones I do know, I will
You
ask.
should ask. I feel like you should ask. Just be like, do you guys drink? Like, just ask them if their family.
So
drinks
if I
Hennessy.
ask your girlfriend, who Tony and I still are not entirely sure
she
is
does.
real,
She lives in Canada. Yeah.
around the Niagara Falls area.
Yeah, that's it.
You wouldn't know.
You
My
would know,
girlfriend, yes, no, you can ask her. You can. Okay, so her family is bougie. They don't drink. Hold on. I was gonna say they don't drink Hennessy specifically.
Cover story.
But they drink Remy Martin, which is essentially
That's fancy Hennessy, right?
it's fancy Hennessy.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
yes.
right. So if
Let's call her on the phone right now. Where's our Google phone number?
I was gonna say Tony's working on getting us a Google
Yeah,
phone
that's
number
it.
so you can call in, but since
Yeah.
there's only a handful of people in chat, we'll wait till a
Right.
more publicized episode.
But yes, yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if you ask my girlfriend, my girlfriend wouldn't drink it, but her family would.
Right. No, you are
Yeah.
speaking for all Vietnamese people. Why?
I've no idea. It's weird. I never drank Hennessy when I was over. Well, I was a
Well, you were
child,
10,
but
so I hope
yeah,
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Getting hard
most-
liquor at
yeah.
10 is bad. That's
Exactly. It just ever since I got here, everyone's sort of just like every party, there's always a bottle of Hennessy. Every wedding, there's like multiple bottles of Hennessy. It's just become like even for our family like Christmas party that my brother would throw with like all of his employees and stuff. They would come over and bring Hennessy, and
Is it
we would
good?
yeah, I mean it's Hennessy. I don't know. It's cognac.
I haven't had it, so I don't know.
It's cognac. It's a little sweet. It's a little bitter.
Buy a little bottle next time
I'll
you're
see if I
can
at
get
the
a
store.
airplane
I will
size
also
bottle.
buy a little bottle
Yeah.
next time, and we should
Yeah.
try it on the show.
Yeah, but I think you guys gotta like for me at least. I don't like the taste of just pure Hennessy, so
Right,
I
okay.
like to mix mine. So I would
think
do
at
mine
the-
with
I-
like Coke.
Okay.
So
at that
instead
point,
of rum and Coke, yeah.
a Hennessy and Coke. Okay. At
Yeah.
that point, Tony will put our names as white people.
Well,
Yeah,
this
It
is
will
just
be-
making me think like, okay, we're tagging Hennessy onto the Vietnamese in America.
Yeah.
No,
Does-
I think
No. I
was
think
talking
it's
about
fair.
it was-
No, I think it's fair to say that.
It was in the hip hop culture. You know, a drink up all the
Correct,
Hennessy you got on
but
your shelf is
my
where I heard
my question is, could we assign liquors to other nationalities in America? Like, is there
can we do
is
this
there like
without
a
sounding
heat map
racist?
of like, yeah,
Right.
well, gotta come from people. Got to come from somewhere. It's not.
Oh my God! Hold on. Sorry, I looked into it, and as to why Vietnamese people are so like
it. We got an
obsessed with
answer.
Hennessy.
Okay, good.
This
I
is
don't
a
have to
learning
question
episode.
Vietnamese people randomly.
So apparently, the French colonialism had something to do with it.
The French.
The French, yeah. Hennessy was a French cognac-based liquor company that became very popular in Vietnam.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it gained prestige in what was used to be known as Saigon, or now
Okay.
Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah.
And that's one of the city where France had set up breweries and distillery alongside with Hanoi and Haiphong. And so, yeah, essentially the reason why Vietnamese people love Hennessy is because it was spoon-fed to us nonstop when, the French took over.
All right.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's look like what it is.
I don't know if I have a liquor, Tony, but I would be like White Claw, white people.
Yes, very much.
Oh, you said White Claw. I was thinking more like White Lightning. I
Oh,
was thinking
okay, well,
moonshine
yeah,
and
if
white
you're
people.
good- yeah.
Oh,
man. If you got
moonshine.
Cletus-
Yes,
yeah,
very much. Okay.
Cletus in the hills for sure.
See, I want to
Yeah,
say
no,
tequila
absolutely.
is like Hispanic people drink, but it's not. Tequila is very like,
No, yeah, that's correct.
yeah, no.
Well, I mean
don't-
Mexico. Yeah, because they grow the cactus, the agave, and
Yes,
the,
but now are they drinking the cactus or are they just producing it? Because that's two
So-
different things.
So check this out. In my junior year of high school,
Mm-hmm.
I took Spanish for 4 years in high school. I believe my junior year we took a spring break trip to Mexico.
Nice.
Mexico.
Yeah.
We flew into Mexico City, La Ciudad de Mexico, and then took a bus through various parts of sort of like rural Mexico and ended up in Acapulco. One of the stops on the trip, they pulled over the tour bus. This is a bunch of high school kids. This is several high school kids, and it was where they made tequila. And we drank like tequila, very warm tequila on the side of the road in Mexico. So yes, I think that's accurate, Tony, without being stereotypical or slightly racist.
Okay.
I'm not,
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. I would say Korean people with soju, obviously.
Soju.
Yeah, but see, I'm going soju is Korean.
Right, but it's not like anybody else is drinking it beside Korean though. Like Vietnam doesn't have a go-to like alcohol. Like they don't produce alcohol like nationally.
Okay, but that's that's like going, oh, Irish people and Jamesons. I don't know that's.
Well, let me give you this 2-second lesson on Scotch. So Scotch is basically whiskey or bourbon. This is a super simplified definition. Some nerds may aim at it, but Scotch is just produced in Scotland. But they also add some peat moss and all sorts of stuff, so it tastes like you're drinking, stuff from the forest. It's delicious, but it's a lot. But this particular brew is the finest quality bourbon. It was aged 8 years. And this actually came from, instead of Kentucky, where a lot of bourbon comes from, this came from Tullahoma, Tennessee. This is the alcohol hour corner of the podcast. Right. So did we get all of them? So okay, so it's 5 p.m. Yeah. Welcome to the alcohol hour, where we assign stereotypical alcohols to nationalities and regions.
Well, it wasn't that many episodes in that we just went, let's do a drunk episode. We might do for another one of those.
We should.
Me and Brian are getting some Hennessy. Brian still has to have his Mountain Dew mixer.
You know what's really funny about that is my wife has asked me about that the past couple days. That has come up. So absolutely, I don't know what happened to the Mountain Dew that I had in the fridge for that. I think my daughter drank it, but that has actually come up. So that's super good, Tony. Yes, I will make that happen.
Oh, you tried it already?
No, I didn't. I didn't, but it's come up in conversation.
I think we should state right here that next episode is the second alcohol episode.
Okay. Well, is Winston fit?
I am clear to drink. No, I am clear to drink. Okay, I had a beer. Good. I had a beer last week, so I think I'm Bud Light. It's just regular beer. It was at Ponco Chicken. I overpaid for it, but
speaking of Mexico, do you ever have beer with clamato?
The hell is a clamato?
Sounds like a venereal disease.
That's your assignment next time. Then go buy a small bottle of clamato at the grocery store and some cheap beer, and that's your drink of choice.
They sell them combined already. Cheladas. Yes, cheladas. Yes, they and it just does not. That could be wrong.
Is that like a fruit juice or something?
These all sound like venereal diseases.
What we talked about last time. If you go check out the link, I did find the link for why tomato juice is drank on planes.
Oh, why?
Tomato cocktail? I'm okay. I'm going
to be on a plane. Why?
It has to do with the altitude and your taste buds and just kind of super tasting that umami flavor. So people tend to prefer it because it does kind of taste different.
Is clamato what people use to make like Bloody Mary?
Could be.
Mm-hmm. So it looks
it's
like.
Tomato
Usually
juice,
you're adding like a lot of pepper and Tabasco and stuff.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Nice
I'm not doing that.
Man. Yeah, so a chelada is like a beer and sort of tomato juice, salt, and lime.
I bet you could walk across the street to Quick Trip and find a gelato for like $1.75.
Yeah,
that you should you should get one to try.
They do. Yeah, they are prevalent down here. I've never had one, and I probably in my interest of having all trying all things, but it just I've never liked Bloody Marys. I've had a Bloody Mary and they're good, but it's weird to have like a savory alcoholic drink. Yes. And I couldn't drink more than one, but like people love Bloody Marys.
This is another one of those things where I'm just going, I wouldn't make one at home because it's just a headache.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't go order one because it's too expensive to see if I like this thing,
Yeah, no, that would be I've had a Bloody Mary, but I've probably only had a handful in my lifetime. But people that love them, and I'm like, there's got to be something to this if people are like that enthusiastic about it. But
yeah, I'm seeing a lot more cocktails and stuff that are like spicy cocktails and things like that. And it just they seem to be popular because people keep making different varieties, but it does seem weird when most drinks are either like just booze or Sweet.
Yeah, Zing Zang is a Bloody Mary mix that's apparently
What's
very
it called?
spicy and very good. Zing Zang.
Sounded real racist there.
Yeah. Not Cho Chang, but Zing Zang.
This is about a shorter episode, so I think I'm gonna wrap us up on the promise of episode 58.
Well, that's good because I can't pour any more bourbon. I don't need any.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start slimming my words.
Or continue.
I want to point out, I love that Henry was in chat, and as you guys were talking about clamato or whatever, he was like, don't listen to it. It's clam and tomato juice.
Clam juice, yeah.
Oh, is it ew.
That's why. So it's not tomato juice, it's clamato juice. Yeah, it's clam
that's
and tomato juice.
Yeah, it totally sounds like a venereal disease.
Oh my goodness. You gotta go get that checked out.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you made it to the end, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend. That'll help us a ton. Rate and subscribe wherever you're listening to so you don't miss new episodes. Downloads help us more than streams. If you want us to talk about something, show up in chat. Sometimes I interact with them, like today, more than others. Or you can always send us an email. We like our fan mail. You can send those to podcastxyzxwyz@gmail.com. You visit on Instagram for news and other previews. Check out our YouTube where we put exclusive things like our post show. Check out our TikTok. There's still occasionally things going up there. I've been a bit lax with that. Otherwise, check out our store. Maybe that skeletal Joe Campbell thing will go up there someday if I can figure it out. But we've got merch. We've got our link dump, which we call Winston's Watch and Listen List. All kind of other fun stuff at our home on the web, podcastxyz.podbean.com. And with that, we'll see everybody next time.
See ya.